Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit, and I'm also here to hang out with everyone here. I'm throwing the Baer Cave, the Lego to the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes, or if you feel like being a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk. Ghost Valve is here. We also want to throw the Baer Cave Lego site Tier 2 blue emote in the chat and thank Chris Weed Piano. Thank you very much, Chris, for renewing your sub just before the stream started, saying, hey, hell yeah, Pat stream. Indeed, this is a Pat stream. So thank you very much for renewing your sub. 23 months is so many months. Also, hello to Lashbrook. And also, want to throw the emotes in the chat and thank Lord Crashington, because Lord Crashington has been a subscriber for 60 months, saying, hey, Pat, keep up the great work and stay cool. You stay cool as well, Lord Crashington. 60 months is a whole lot of months. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Appreciate both of you. Thank you for that. Especially because, as you may know, it's going to cost more to subscribe to people with cash money. Starting today, it costs more in the United States and various other countries as well. Lord Crash says, I've stopped subbing in 9 more months. Okay. So yeah, look, Lord Crashington, I would love for you to continue subscribing as long as you would like. As little as much. This could be your last month of subscribing. But also, 69 is a great month to get out on. But also, don't keep subscribing. Please keep subscribing. But also, subscribe, as long as you want to. What doesn't these days? Well, so that's the thing, right? Obviously, I am I would prefer to a couple people that I do subscribe to, I would like to pay them less. I would like to pay less. That would be great, right? It would be nice if subscriptions didn't cost as much as they do. Maybe you got 2 free tokens because, let's be real, Amazon Prime costs a lot of money as well. And now you still see fucking ads unless you spend even more money. And fuck that. Let's go to the overhead. But I will say, this is the first increase. It's not a big increase. Do I think there will be a second increase before, sooner than later? Yeah, I think that's the way it's going to be. I think this increase was not super substantial, but I do think that it is could be a deal breaker for some people. I think I'll say this, gifted shouldn't have gone up. That's my thinking, right? My thinking would be, you increase the price of subscriptions, but you don't increase the price of a gifted sub to encourage people to gift subs to other people in the community. I think that would have been a smart thing. Obviously, didn't happen. The fact that they didn't increase the other prices to encourage people to do like 3-month deals, I think that's kind of fun. Reminder, there will most likely be something in September. And I would say this. If they do another September, if they do another thing where it costs less to subscribe, and you are already planning on subscribing to someone, including myself, on a monthly basis, maybe do 3 months that month. It might make sense to do that to save yourself a little bit of money if you're already planning on doing it. And again, you don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe me a subscription. I am thrilled that you are choosing to do that. We are currently at 46 subscribers, which does include some gifted subs for my birthday. So when we get around to my birthday, that number will drop. But currently we're at 46, which is still a lot of subscribers. That's still a whole lot. And that's something to be thankful for, especially as the summer is rough for subscribers. Now, that's not for everybody, or for subscriptions. That's not for everybody. There are plenty of people that see a giant boost in the summer for their subscription numbers. But those people have an audience that is not in school. And my viewership is, I will say there is a percentage of my viewership that are in college. I do not believe, based on unclear data, let's be real, I don't have all the facts, I don't have all the figures. But as far as I can tell from what I am able to access, I do not have much of a high school or middle school audience. And to which I say, probably for the best. There are some people that do watch with their kids around. They are not afraid to have me on while their kids are hanging out, which is cool, and I appreciate that. But that's not, my target audience is not necessarily kids or people with kids that are watching together as a family unit or anything like that. I think most of my audience is, hey, some people watching tonight do have kids, or some people watching the VODs later certainly do have kids, but that is not, I am not targeted to high school students, which is probably, let's not say probably, that's good. That's good. I'm 44. Like they don't need to know what I'm into. They don't need to know what anime I like this season, or last season. Got up that Riz to get the good with the high school kids, right? Yeah. I know what Riz is, and I do think that that charisma is a long word, so you might as well, shorten it. So I don't think I'm not like kids these days and they're shortening of words and nothing means anything. Words have meaning. No, words don't have any meaning. They just have the collective agreement of meaning, and it's fine. I'm not here saying that. But I'm 44. You don't need to know what I think of HoloLive night at Dodger Stadium. You don't need to know what I think of that. I'll tell you that I think it's kind of fun and cool, and I bet was pretty fucking weird for people that don't know what the fuck VTubers are. But do I know any of those VTubers? Yes. I know the Shark Girl. I knew Garu or Gura. I don't even know if it's Garu or Gura. I know I recognized when I saw a clip of the Shark Girl singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I was like, I know that's a VTuber. I'm aware of that VTuber. Okay. The merch line wrapped around the stadium. They were unprepared for how much money people were going to spend on one-of-a-kind merch of their VTubers in baseball caps. Gura. Thank you. Gura. Gaur. Okay, that's Gawr Gura. Okay, thank you, Last Rook. But yeah, I am at least culturally aware of that VTuber, if not the other ones. I am at least aware that they exist, and I think it's neat. I think it is a weird thing. I think if you are involved in sports, and by involved in sports, I mean involved in the selling of sports. Basically, don't pronounce the W, so it's Gargura. Okay, great. I knew part of her name. Anyway, if you are trying to get young people to come spend money on your thing, you could do a lot worse than VTubers. To at least encourage them to come out in the same way that you don't maybe know this because again, we are not this demographic, but if you want to if you have a kid, if you're babysitting, if you got a niece, nephew, one of your kids, and they're asking you about football and you are not prepared to really patiently explain the game of football on a CBS or Fox broadcast or an NBC broadcast, but you want to, or ABC, I guess, or you want to say yeah, all right, there might be a way to get you involved in this young child. Nickelodeon does games. They don't do every game, but they do some games. And you can hear the voice of SpongeBob talk about the play that just happened legitimately. And it's got a Nickelodeon overlay. And they are doing their best to make a interpretation of the sport that could appeal to someone that might want to know more about it. I was surprised I didn't see any angry sports fans posting about it. Yeah, Lashbrook, I think if it had been I don't know. I think if it had been a bigger game, maybe. I don't know. I think honestly, a lot of people approach it like, wow, look at all the people that came out. Like baseball fans are obviously complainers because all sports fans are complainers in their heart. But also, I feel like any sport fan outside of American sports fan outside of a football fan, in part at very least, is like, well, if people are coming, they're buying tickets, they're talking about it. Okay, that's good. We dropped some frames there. We dropped quite a... we didn't drop any frames. The bit rate went to hell for a brief period, but it seems to be back now. So my apologies for that. We have been dealing with thunderstorms all fucking day. Very little rain, lots of thunderstorms, but it is... and some lightning. Not my bits, no. Yeah, we dropped some... So the kilobits are all out of whack. But yeah, in general, like, ways to make sports more approachable to people, I think is fine. It's, again, I am a 44-year-old man. The VTubers that I engage with are people I know in real life who are also VTubers. And I think that's fine because I'm not hunting down cool new VTubers. Sorry, not true. There is a VTuber that I do not watch her streams, but I do follow her on Instagram. What's up, Tony the Swordsman? Welcome, Tony. I do follow a VTuber on Instagram because she does a lot of covers of rap songs, and she is a black and white VTuber, and I find the whole thing interesting. But again, I've not watched her stream, could not tell you her name, but I do follow her on Instagram because I do think that she is kind of interesting. It starts with an M, but at least, I don't know. I think that she's doing weird shit, and I'm up for that. But it's like, Vectroid, that's my friend Rara. Ramona's just doing cool shit. And he's a VTuber, and I'm here for it. Liz is a VTuber, but it's somebody that I know. Of course, we often raid Xandra, who has a VTuber shell, but is not primarily a VTuber, but sometimes does the VTubing thing. Often when she just doesn't... I think it's just she doesn't want to be on camera, so it's time for VTuber time, which I think is a fucking cool option. I have never done a stream. I have never done a no-cam stream. I have never done a no-mic stream. I have always streamed with me here because I am building physical objects. I guess I could do it if I was like playing a video game and I just didn't want to talk. I guess I could do that. It has just never come up and has never been a thing that I have decided I wanted to do. So I never have. We're going to build the stand. This kit does come with a stand, and we can start to assemble. Now that we're just getting so many weird parts for this, and we can start putting together all of the strange combinations of this kit. We might finish this tonight. I don't know if we're going to, but we might. Anyway, the largest part is, like, the point I was making was that my numbers go down in the summer because people are busy and they're out and about in the summer and they're going on vacations or they are just doing other shit. They've got picnics to go to at night or concerts or hangouts or whatever. So my view numbers go down in the summer where some people's numbers go up was the thing I had started talking about when I got distracted. Because their summer numbers are generally people who do not have school. So that they're more available to be on stream, which is cool. And then also, I have not done a convention in a while. I have not been a guest on a popular podcast in a while. I have not done I have not gotten a shout out from people that know me that have a large audience and may on occasion have an audience that grows over time. And some of those people just didn't know who I was. Or a fun thing is people who like remember me from a certain thing at some point in their lives, but were unaware that I stream, which is still a thing that happens. There are still people who would like what I do and just have no concept that I do it because they aren't engaged enough with me and my shit. They just like know me from podcast appearances I did at some point, and they're like, oh yeah, oh Pat Baer, yeah, all right. Oh, he builds model kits? Oh, I'll check that out. Oh, he's playing oh, I like that video game. I'll go see his Tuesday stream. Like, that's just not a thing that has happened enough. So what I'm saying is, Pat, from Watermelons, yes. The oddest, it does happen, but every once in a while, someone goes, oh, I saw you do improv. Because again, now that's years ago. That is now not a recent thing. That is a, at best, 2020 thing. Like the first couple months of 2020, they saw me do some stuff. But I did have somebody not too long ago say, I was watching old Chris Gethard show stuff and saw you on there. And then you were chatting with, like, they were following someone on Twitter who I was talking to and realized I was that guy from that thing. And I was like, oh, okay, that's the weirdest way to find me. And it also, there are people who are in chat who just, this is the smallest number of my consistent viewers, not one-time viewers. The smallest number of consistent viewers is the Makers and Crafting tab here, the category Makers and Crafting, that you are just looking at Makers and Crafting, and I was having a good day and my numbers were high because I am consistently in that category and consistently pretty high in that category due to lack of competition, that if I'm having a good viewer number of stream, you might see it. And most people don't stick around because I am opinionated, but also I am not solely focused on talking about model kits, and that's what some people want. They do not want the other stuff. They do not care that I watched the first 2 episodes of I Parry Everything, and I'm going to recap that in the second hour. A short, brief recap of those 2 episodes. Or that, like, maybe they would like to know that Oshi no Ko is in season 2 because maybe they missed out and they were unaware that Oshi no Ko is in its 2nd season and that started, but they're not necessarily like dying to find out what me, Pat Baer, thinks of that episode too. I would say, like, one-time viewers is all because of the category. There are a few people that come back here because of raids that have happened during a stream, right? That's all that does happen. Could be a raid from Bad Gunpla, and they just like follow a lot of model kit builders, or it could be a raid from Puppet Jared because they like what Jake does, and Jake has been kind enough to raid me on occasion, so they come in from that. Am I doing this wrong? Yes, I'm doing this wrong. I put this on wrong. This is on upside down. So this goes like this. So that goes like that. And then this could only go like that. This goes there. But yeah, I mean, some people do stick around because of raids, which is nice. But the majority of folks know me from some form of Giant Bomb, League of Heels, UCB Theater, shenanigans, and know me from those things, and then like what I do here. Okay, so I can't figure out how to connect this piece and this piece properly. I am looking at it. I know that goes like that. Okay, that is connected, right? Okay, so I got that connected, and then this goes together. So this is the core. This is the core unit. This theoretically is the backpack, and this is where the pilot is, and then they fly into the back of the RX-78-2 and live in there. So you can take this part of the G-Armour, you can take like the rocket booster and put it on the core if you need the core to go really fast or far. So this is one of the many weird things, weird combinations you can do with this kit. Is this one. So we are going to take a photo of it. I'm going to have a lot of photos from this stream. So we'll take a photo. Get that going here. This is the first of many photos of a thing that you can build on this here. Looks good. Put my phone over there so that I don't keep bumping it. But yeah, that's the first thing that we did for this. One time my friend Nat and I were talking, and he told me the same story that you told me at PAX. I didn't connect the dots that it was you until way later. Yes. So that's Chris. You are one of not too many people that both know New York comedy folks and know like Giant Bomb stuff. There is a crossover between the two. There were a few people that did know both the things I was into. You might see him in chat here is Remy, my friend Dan, who is also a mod for Jeff. Dan is a New Yorker and was aware of both worlds in that way. One of those people is Abby Russell, of course, which is very fun because when I saw that Abby got the job, I went, I know that name. Why do I know that name? And then looked and went, oh, she's pretty briefly, she was like a house manager at Magnet Theater. And I was like, I am aware of this person. I didn't know Abby well, but I was aware of her, which I always found to be very fun and silly, that I knew who she was. All right, we're going to do the other connection that we can do here, which is we're going to take the RX-78-2. We still haven't built the second half of this kit. We've only built the top half, but we'll take the second half off so that we can attach this. This is the. If I was going to display, I might display it like this because this is the cool version of it, in my opinion. And then this snaps in. That. Oh, there's a way to snap this in. Some of this like works in practice or in theory, but not in practice. But anyway, there is a crossover of people who know me from the stuff I did with Giant Bomb on occasion and PAX things, and also people who knew me from the New York comedy scene. But most people knew me from one or the other, and most of the people who watch my streams are people who only knew me from internet stuff, which is one of the reasons why I started doing this. You may remember one of the reasons I started doing all of the streaming things is because I had started to build a bit of a group of people who knew me. Oh, and there's also a few people that like, and shout outs to those people. There are a few people that are here because I have appeared on Loading Ready Run in some capacity, which I also would like to do again because it's been a while since I hung out with those fine folks. But it's been a minute. But yeah, there are a few people that like I was promoting something. I think I was probably promoting last year. It might be the last time I did something with them. I think I was promoting like the Plamo Weekender. I want to say it was probably the last time that I promoted myself on there. This kit almost has the look of a toy from the 80s. Lord Crashington, this does feel very 80s. Yeah, I think that is a reasonable thing to point of reference. All right, so now we've taken the tank part of it. We could also eventually put a model kit on this part. This is kind of like one of the go-tos of this kit, is this combination. We're going to build the feet and the body soon for this kit. This kit does need a torso and all that. This piece can come out. And then I just have a bunch of extra parts here. But I do want to take a photo of this together. I also do have a Lego set that I'll be building after this that came from Aristofan. Thank you, Aristofan, if you're watching, or I'll be thanking you often for it. But Aristofan did buy me a Lego set, so that will be the next thing that I'm building. That was off my wish list. Thank you to Aristofan for that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, people have been. People come from a lot of different places, but yeah, the Loading Ready Run folks, hey, Restaurant, Loading Ready Run folks I'm always happy to see if some of the people came over there, because I feel like the Loading Ready Run audience is vast, but also there are people who are like, I like any live stream because it's personality based. I do not care about the tabletop games, or I don't care about Magic the Gathering, but, Adam and Graham are together playing Magic the Gathering. That's fun. Or, Adam and Ben are playing a spooky game. Ben, by himself, is playing a card game that I don't care about. That's fun. Heather and Ian are doing a rhythm game. I'll check that out because I have time. They just like them. But there are people who are like, I like what they do, and I like specifically some of the things that some of them do. And they are attracted to that kind of stuff. And for those people, like, if you like Ian's Tinker Tailor Solder Fry content, then you might be down with the shenanigans that I get up to, because he does some building, and so you might be down for some of the building that I do, and that way I'm like, or if you like Beej's Anime Roundup, which I decided I would do. Because Pat Baer's Anime Club exists longer than... Pat Baer's Anime Club existed and was its own thing, but it wasn't... At first, I did not do every season a stream that became that video. I would just do a wrap-up video about the season, and I would do a preview video. I would do 2 videos. And instead, I decided, based on the fact that Brendan Beach Dairy was doing these videos, and I thought these live streams about the season, which I thought were really fun, and like a cool way to do it, I was like, I'll do that. I'll also do that. I just am going to do that. Similar to how this very channel exists in part because of Austin Walker making a in-jest Gunpla video, as if he was a streamer that did Gunpla streams, comedy video, where I was like, yeah, that might be a good push for me to just fucking do the thing that I have been wanting to do for a while. Because why don't I just make that version of the joke, but make it for me? Is it inspiration? Yes. Is it still me looking at someone doing something that I like and going, I could do that. I should do that. Yes, it's also that. Never mean-spirited. But it's always like, I could probably do that thing. Like, this year, my Wednesday video project is me talking about anime that I'm really into and putting it on as a YouTube short, and putting it on Instagram and putting it on TikTok. Am I doing that solely because that was an idea I had that I wanted to do? No. Part of the whole thing is the fact that I recognize that YouTube Shorts, because YouTube wants YouTube Shorts to do well, they are putting some money behind it, which they won't forever, but also they push it. They push YouTube Shorts to people. So it's a way to maybe increase a little bit of revenue on AdSense, but also perhaps increase my audience, because my YouTube subscriber numbers have stagnated. They just have. YouTube, everything of mine, numbers-wise, has stagnated. So, if not dipped. So, that might be a way to get more people to at least give my stuff a shot. It might help. But also, that exists because a friend of mine does music. They do weekly music recommendations, and they have a theme every month. And I was like, I could just do that. But for anime. I should probably just do that, but for anime. Um, Also, Kuma Baer just kind of, as soon as I thought of, oh, I could do Kuma Baer, but I'd spell Bear like my last name. I was like, oh, that's really all I need. All I really need is a pun. People have asked this before, and there's no good story to it. It's just that there are two ways that my yearly projects, or any project that I do, there are two ways that they exist. One, it is something that I have wanted to do for a while, and then I think of a pun name. Or two, I think of a pun name, and then I figure out what would that be. So, like the one where I read a Wikipedia page and then tried to remember everything I could from the Wikipedia page. Do you remember? That started off as, I want to do a Wikipedia thing. I want to do a Wikipedia thing, and let me rack my brain about it. And then eventually, Do You Remember came out. And I was like, that's good. That is a good one. But some of them are just like, Pat Baer's, the Build with Baer Workshop is just like, it's not really a pun. It is kind of a pun. It's play on words. I was like, what is that? What is that? What would that be? Oh, that'd be me building model kits, I guess. Well, I have been wanting to do that. So yeah, I guess I'll do that. Like, those things exist. If I go into my YouTube channel and I look at my names, I can tell you, if I go to my YouTube channel and I go to my playlists, we'll just do that. That is the easiest way to do this. I can tell you how they came about, and I can at least try to remember how I came up with the names. So Kuma Baer, that is this is a project I want to do, and then once I thought of the name, I was like, yep, that fits together. That's about around the same time. Barely Rehearsed, that name came first. I was like, what is Barely Rehearsed gonna be? Because Barely Rehearsed is good, and I like it. Barely Rehearsed, that is me. That's me writing and performing a piece of comedy. I had Barely Rehearsed, and then I started thinking about what that could be and realized, oh, that's probably me performing things and rehearsing them. Ooh, that's a good idea. I'll write some comedy pieces. Do You Remember starts as Wikipedia, and then I realized I would like to know more about that. Best of Build with Baer. Best of Build with Baer starts as Build with Baer Workshop stuff. I want to do a best of series. That was also my backup project. My backup project was, well, if I don't like a project I'm doing, I can always do a clip show thing, because that's the same year that I started and gave up Bear With Me. Bear With Me starts as Bear With Me. That's just a thing that I thought of, and I was like, okay, Bear With Me is a fine name. I will just use that. What is that? Oh, that's me doing reaction videos. Turns out I hate doing reaction videos. I didn't like doing it, and I messed with the format a few times, to the point where the final Bear With Me is me reacting to a video where I tell people I'm not doing it anymore. I also went and looked. One of my Bear With Me videos is me reacting to one of the Hi, I'm Shelley Duvall supercuts, where the audio has been muted, because I was going to post that. But I can't post any of the Hi, I'm Shelley Duvall's that I reacted to, because none of them have audio anymore, because the audio was all blocked. So they're all muted of that, and you just hear me reacting to words you can't hear. And I was like, that's not worth sharing. And then Bearing the List starts with, I want to do a year of Tier Maker. What would I call a video series where I watch a lot of Tier Maker videos? Couldn't think of anything, and it was like, well, something about the list, and I'll just use Bear, somewhere. I'll just stick that in there. That's not even a good one. Bearing the List isn't a good name. And then Backgrounded Characters is the first weekly project I did. And Backgrounded Characters is just That's not, there's nothing in my name about that. That was pre that. That was just me wanting to do a project, and I want to do something with a green screen. Am I even doing background characters? No. It just meant that I would grab a kind of random, weird background and then improvise a character with that background as an inspiration. So that's where the background comes from. It was an excuse to get better at a green screen, which I must stress. I never got better at using a green screen. Especially when I did Barely Rehearsed and I was working on like a various green screen technology trying to make that work. Almost none of that looks good because I was using like the Zoom background remover, not even the NVIDIA one, which doesn't work great, but at least with enough lighting works okay. But then that was me doing a proper green screen and just a green sheet and just being bad at it. A lot of these projects didn't turn out great. That was a 2019 project. But yeah, a lot of these are just like, I don't know. I did my best with it. So all I could do was my best. There was a short-lived video series that I did. I'm looking at my playlist now. They're all still up. I don't delete stuff. I have deleted some archives of 404ing it that I have on a hard drive, but I don't have on YouTube anymore, either because of the guests that are on there or because they kept getting flagged at various countries at different times, and I kept putting up edited versions, and then eventually they just got blocked in all regions. But I have archives of all of them, so someday, if they're not on archive.org, some of them are. A lot of them are. I will eventually put them on archive.org myself. Looking at this, I have Let Pat Play was a variation on Pat Plays Pokemon. I did this was not a stream series. I did a recorded series where I recorded sessions of me playing Pokemon Emerald with a randomizer, and I just recorded sessions and uploaded them. And then I eventually did Let Pat Play, which was me, like a whole series. And I don't even know all of that playlist. I know at one point, part of Let Pat Play was a Let's Play series, was me looking at mods in different Fallout games. Chris says, just looked up a tweet I sent in 2017. Craft Baer, is this anything? Craft Baer, that could be a yearly project. Craft Baer could 100% be a project that I do next year, where I review crafts or build crafts. Like, I don't know what that would be. I don't know what Craft Baer is, but it's a good name. And shout out to the person who I cannot remember who suggested it, who came up with the spelling of Bear Cave. Bear Cave as my place where I did interviews for League of Heels. I originally did not spell it C-A-E-V. I spelled it C-A-V-E. And then someone replied to me and said, shouldn't it be spelled Bear Cave? And I went, yes, and it's always been spelled that way. Wink, wink. Yeah, Let Pat Play Uncommon Wealth, which was the Commonwealth. Yeah, Viva. Okay, so I had a couple names for these series where I was looking at. I did 4 episodes each. That could be Trace. I don't know if it was Trace. It could be Trace. I don't think it was a mod. I think it was just a Giant Bomb fan who liked what I was doing and liked the Heels, which is a bunch of people. No, so years ago, now 5 years ago, I did 2 Let Pat Play Let's Play series where I did 4 episodes each of The Uncommon Wealth, which is Fallout 4, looking at mods, and Viva Mod Vegas, which I think is a good pun name. I think Viva Mod Vegas is pretty good. I played some cheap games, some games I found online. I did a bunch of Gundam stuff. There's a Gundam pinball game that exists that I played. Katamari Damacy Reroll. I forgot that I did two Let's Play episodes about Katamari Damacy Reroll. I do not remember that. I did, before I streamed it, I played Hearthstone and showed off some decks. House Flipper, I checked that out before I streamed it. Monster Girl Maker, Daddy Dance Party. I don't know what Daddy Dance Party was. An open mic simulator. Oh, okay. Daddy Dance Party, I believe, is a game jam game from a Giant Bomb game jam, like open mic simulator, Police State, and Giant ROM. Oh, yes, yeah, okay. So I think those are part of Giant ROM 5. Yeah, I played some indie games. I played a bunch of different Giant ROM stuff. Okay. Oh, that's right. This started off as me playing visual novels. So I played like Syrup and the Ultimate Sweet. Yeah. That I started 6 years ago with that. And it was before I started streaming games here, because I was just going to be a model kit building stream. I wasn't going to do any games because there are a million people playing games on Twitch. Why would I do that? What would I have to bring to the table? Turns out I just like to do it. I like playing Hearthstone on stream. I like playing video games on stream. I want to do it. Oh, that just reminded me. That's what I'm going to do. I could not think of what I was going to do. There are 5. There are 5 Tuesdays this month, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do the 5th Tuesday of the month, and it might end up being Hearthstone because there is a new expansion coming out. So I might stream some Hearthstone at the end of the month. I will say, speaking of streaming games, this past Tuesday, I did play more Pokemon Black Randomizer, and I think it'll be a little while before we go back to that. Partially it was because I just was stuck in a cave. I was just stuck in a goddamn cave for the entire stream, and that was like not particularly fun for me. But also partially because it didn't really. It doesn't seem to be something that a lot of people want to watch me do, which is fine. That's not the only reason that I do it, but it's part of it. I need PCI, Polycap I. I use both of those. So I need Polycap I, which is over FGHI. Okay, great. Polycap I. Got what I need. The polycap that I need for this. Because we're building the feet. We're finally building legs and feet on this kit. And the rest of the stuff is a lot of 404ing it and PAX Rumble stuff or League of Heels. The first 200 of the Build with Baer workshop, my first 200 were archived on Pat Baer's my main channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. And then eventually I decided I was going to move them. I'm going to make a VOD channel and move them to the VOD channel because the algorithm didn't like that I was consistently uploading 2-hour videos late at night, but then 20-minute videos in the afternoon some weeks. They didn't like that. And as I started streaming more, but the first 200 streams, back when I numbered them, because I used to archive these not by the date, but by the number of stream. So when I hit 200 of the Build with Workshop, I was like, that's the last one I'm uploading here. And from then on, they went to the other one because I thought that would be better. I still can't tell you if that is better, but I did think it would be better. Yes, Lord Crashington. YouTube doesn't mind you uploading a lot of videos, but they should be the same length, which the once every quarter Pat Baer's Anime Club video that's 2 hours does fuck that up. But my every other Monday video that is 20 to 30 minutes, they don't mind that. And my weekly video that is under a minute doesn't count towards that. Now I do upload mailbag videos, and that does throw things off. My mailbag videos should be their own channel because they are short content. They should be part of a channel that focuses, for me anyway, on clips. It should not be a channel that does a bunch of different things. YouTube does not like variety uploaders. They like focused on one thing. Will they change their mind? Almost assuredly. But right now, that is the case. And has been the case for a while. And they had to like go back on what they think and how they feel on things, specifically to encourage people to make shorts, because when they introduced shorts, the number one thing they got from people who try to make money off YouTube was, won't that fuck up the algorithm because suddenly I'm uploading short videos? And they said, no, we specifically will make it so that won't fuck things up. They didn't say fuck, but it's implied. Well, I wonder if any of these videos, I have an unlisted fold playlist I'm checking out right now just to see. They are all here. Okay. So as a public service, I re-uploaded some videos that were shared with me for 404ing it, that between the time that they were shared with me and I had ripped them, and then the videos or the 404ing it went live, or we did it as a panel, I should say, some of those videos had disappeared as people had taken them down. And so I uploaded them all, but as unlisted, so that they remain. I do not need to have them. They are just grocery haul videos from several years ago. They don't need to exist. But they're still there. If they got, taken down, I would not bat an eye. But yeah, as I said, right now they're just unlisted videos that I put in there, because why not? Because I can. We will take a pause for the cause in a bit, talk about ways you can support the channel. I just want to say, so this is a new thing, a new strange wrinkle. As you know, we often cover on this stream, we often talk about layoffs in the gaming industry, because tangentially connected to the gaming industry, and many of us watching are gamers, and so it is nice to know, or at least it's important, not nice, it's important to know about these things and these closures. This is not a story about layoffs. It's a story about possible layoffs. The UK game studio Splash Damage, the makers of the Outcasters and Transformers Reactive, confirmed in a statement to GameIndustry.biz, who were reaching out to them to confirm reporting that they were making, and got a statement from them saying a small number of roles are at risk of redundancy. So basically, they were doing an article about, companies or studios that look like they are that they will be laying people off, and reached out for comment and received a comment from Splash Damage that was like, following recent business review, we have reached at a point where we must adapt our structure to better suit the needs of our current and future games. Despite every effort to avoid it, this unfortunately means that a small number of roles across studios are potentially at risk of redundancy, which is basically just like, hey, we are going to go through all of the UK laws that we have to go through to make this happen, but it's fucking going to happen. And obviously, that sucks. But again, it is not this studio is definitely going to lay off people. They are. It's just that they might be forced to. They will. These are predominantly in the operations side of our business, with our development teams remaining largely unaffected. Again, that is not unaffected. That is largely unaffected. All games remain in development. That is an important thing, because sometimes those games aren't in development anymore. And then a lot of people get laid off. Or we finish development. Fuck, we do not have a publishing deal. Looks like we're going to have to lay off a ton of people. All of that shite. They were a support. They have been a support studio for a number of things. including Gears 5. They were support studio on Halo, Master Chief Collection, Gears Tactics, and again, they're dealing with some stuff. They also, at some point, bought Bulkhead Games, the makers of Battalion 1944. They bought them specifically to bolster their development numbers to work on Transformers Reactive. And then also, I should say, because it was cool, and in my opinion, without knowing all the facts, can only tell you my opinion on it. I should say last year Splash Damage transitioned to a 4-day work week. And that is not related to them laying people off, because that is not, but it's still worth mentioning that that's fucking cool. But yeah, I am not looking at their books, so I can only make, so many thoughts on if that is bad for business or not. But generally that's not related, But yeah, hopefully that things turn in their favor and they don't have to lay people off, but it seems likely that they're going to. But that was the only bit of news I could find about game layoffs. The numbers are bad for me to explain this shit, but the short of it is Game Pass tiers they're expanding some Game Pass tiers and the cost of those tiers and changing things around. And the most important thing to know is if you want to do day one games, you're going to pay more on a monthly basis for day one game releases. The number one advantage to having Game Pass, in my opinion, was the day one release, where you could find out and maybe you would play a game and you'd be like, oh, I should probably have this because eventually it will go off a Game Pass and I want to play that in the future. But it was a way to play games for far cheaper. It was one of the reasons to have it. And that is going away unless you belong to a certain tier. And it's now very complicated as far as all the tiers, which is not great. And there is a case to be made that some of these are not, that for a lot of people, Game Pass is now not a no-brainer and is instead a thing to consider on a monthly basis if you are going to get Game Pass again. If at any point you're like, well, I do want to play a game or two, but do I want to play it enough to spend this amount of money? It now goes from I pay for Game Pass, and some months I use it less than others, that is no longer, in my opinion, that is no longer a no-brainer. It is now which is bad for people that are in the business of getting you to subscribe to things. To suddenly have it become a thing that you must consider or think about is bad news. They hate that. They don't want that. They want you to be like, oh yeah, I pay for Game Pass, whatever. I don't even think about Game Pass. I just do it because you get so much stuff. That's what they want. They don't want this other weird world where you might not have Game Pass because it doesn't make sense, because there aren't a bunch of things in the backlog of Game Pass in the library that makes you go, ooh, okay. So, that ain't great for them. But we don't really care about that. We think about the consumer before we think about anybody else. But yeah, Game Pass Ultimate's going to be $20 a month. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is going from $17 to $20 a month. That's a $3 increase. That adds up over months. Game Pass Standard is $15 a month when it launches, so that'll be cheaper than the $17. But that just gives you the backlog and online multiplayer. But you don't get day one. You can do the core, which existed. This is the part that's don't do this. What are you doing? Xbox Game Pass Core, which it's still going to be $10 a month. That is the $10 a month version of it. That still remains. That still exists. But the yearly subscription is going up in price. And eventually the monthly will probably go up in price as well. That's my opinion. And also Core is not as many games. It's just some games. PC Game Pass is going to $12 a month instead of $10 a month. That still has day one releases and all the stuff on PC. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. Take it how as much as a grain of salt as you want. Again, just my opinion. $12 a month for PC Game Pass that includes day one, still worth it. I still think $12 instead of $10 a month. Also, you don't have to have it every month. Just get it when you want it. Get it when there's a game coming out on PC that you're interested in that's coming to day one PC Game Pass. And then Xbox Game Pass for console, which is their $11 a month version, is going to continue, but but no new people are getting it. So it's going to be a thing that only exists for some people now, like going forward. And also, if you stop paying for it ever, you lose access to that plan because they don't want you on anymore. So you have to keep paying for it and redeem codes and stack them. But also there's a cap on how many times you can or how long you can stack it before you then have to start doing another plan. You need someone to make a complicated chart. I believe that one of the cheap games or one of those people did the chart. I'm just looking at Polygon's write-up. And also there's price changes worldwide. I'm just talking about this one. Basically, they're just making the lower ones not as good and the better and the higher ones better, which, of course, they're doing that. Should they be doing that? I don't know. It makes sense that they're doing it from a standpoint of wanting to reach the most amount of people and get more money out of people. I would still say, again, I don't think now that Game Pass Standard makes any sense. I don't think that Game Pass Ultimate at $20 a month makes as much sense, but I don't think Standard makes any sense anymore. And I don't think Core makes any sense. I don't know if Game Pass makes sense anymore on the Xbox. PC Game Pass at $12 a month, to me, in my opinion, $10 a month for PC Game Pass still makes sense. That's still a good value proposition. That's still a good deal. Again, because you could just be like, do I want to spend $12 to play this $80 video game or $70 video game? Day one. Day one, this game is coming out and it's $70. Do I want to buy that game for $70 or do I want to spend $12 to play that game and a couple games that got added 2 months ago that I didn't pay attention to and didn't notice because I'm not on a monthly thing for PC Game Pass? I think PC Game Pass is still a good value. Last week says, I'm letting mine lapse. I haven't really played any Game Pass stuff in a while. At some point, I'm going to have to buy Flight Sim, though. Yeah, last week. And that's an important thing to look at, too. Like, everyone watching this right now, and we're going to do a pause for the cost. So I'm going to go to this screen right now. Everyone watching this right now should, at some point, look at your subscriptions and think, do I fucking use this? I do that. I look at those. I go, Wrestle Universe. It went up in price. They added more stuff. Wrestle Universe is totally worth it for me. That's a no-brainer for me. That's me. I don't pay for Triller Plus anymore. I get that on a monthly basis when I want to watch a bunch of stuff. I realized I wasn't watching enough to justify a monthly thing for GCW and a bunch of other things on there. That doesn't make sense for me on a monthly basis. Netflix, every once in a while. Hulu, I borrow an account. I'll log in. High Dive and Crunchyroll, I pay for both of those, especially right now. Right now, I am watching 3 weekly shows on High Dive. So High Dive for me is worth it. And Crunchyroll, I think I'm watching like 5 weekly shows. So like Crunchyroll's always worth it for me. High Dive, last season, High Dive really not worth it. I was watching 1 show on High Dive. So, but I was covering it for here. So I was committed to it. But like not, yeah, I wasn't like, it didn't make sense for me to have it those seasons. For that season, those 3 months. But I did keep it. Those are mine. Amazon Prime. Do I watch a lot of stuff on Amazon Prime? I do. Not as much as I could, but it's still enough to justify it with free shipping because I buy things from Amazon quite a bit, both to use for my own needs and also model kits for the stream. I buy stuff from them. So like for me, that makes a lot of sense. And Game Pass is not something that I keep on a monthly basis. A PC Game Pass, I let slide, and then I get back into it. Also, I have Peacock, but that's because I got Peacock for WrestleMania, and then I was canceling Peacock, and they were like, hey, what about $6 for 6 months? And I was like, yeah, all right, fine. But when that runs out, I'm done with Peacock, unless they offer me another good deal to stay on Peacock. Because what I'll end up doing is when there is a WWE pay-per-view that I really want to watch, I'll just get Peacock for the month and then watch some old stuff and watch some archives of NXT stuff and a bunch of other things and go back to it and see what they've uploaded since the last time I had it, which is what I do for Netflix, as what I do for Hulu. It's what I do for all of those things. It's just like, oh, no, I need that. Eventually, AEW will be on a streaming service, and I will pay for that because that'll probably give me a discount on the pay-per-views, which right now I'm paying full price for, but split with friends. But I'm still paying full price up front for AEW pay-per-views, and then, you know, if there's a subscription service where I get their pay-per-views included, then I'll probably end up just getting that because it'll make more sense. Anyway. But yeah, look at it. Figure it out. Figure out what you're paying for on a monthly basis and what you don't need to be paying for on a monthly basis. There are a couple other things. I support a few people on Patreon. Those are monthly expenses. I don't want to see ads when Jeff Gerstmann is streaming, so I pay for Jeff Gerstmann because I'm a mod, but I still support him over there, but I don't support him on Patreon because I have access to the Patreon Discord because I'm a mod. But I still pay. I pay Jeff $5 a month so that I don't see ads. No, $6 a month, so I don't see ads while he's streaming because it's annoying. So I just pay for it. And I have a few other people I subscribe to, but that's small. And also one of those people isn't streaming much anymore, so I ended up canceling that because she doesn't stream. So I'm not gonna do that if she's not doing the thing. That's the contract. It's a tip jar, but come on. Also, somebody I know switched jobs recently and decided that they were taking a pay cut, so they are not supporting people on Patreon anymore. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Do you. But for me to do me, I need your support. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm about to mention here is optional. You don't have to do anything here unless you would like to. But if there's a way to support me that makes sense for you, please consider doing it. You should think about it. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber, like Lord Crashington and Chris Weed Piano, who renewed their subs today, Chris and Lord Crashington did, which is great. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here because you're already here. You're already watching. So if you want to become a subscriber, you get cool emotes. Hey, Nathan, welcome. You don't see ads during the stream, and you get that nice little thing of knowing that the number went up because of you, which is nice. Again, all these are optional. You could also use your Prime Gaming token. If you continue to pay for Amazon Prime, you get that token. You can use it for anybody on Twitch when you link those two accounts. Why not use it for your friend Pat? That would be great. Also, you could gift a sub like Mjan did. You could join Mjan in the gift sub leaderboard by gifting a sub to someone in the community so they don't see ads and they get cool emotes and number go up. Also, you could be like Harold and join the cheer leaderboard. Very nice. Thank you, Harold. I need to drink some water right now. I drink some water right then. That's another way to support me is by throwing a little cheer my way. There are other ways to support me that don't involve using Twitch, if that's how you want to go about things. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. My Patreon is currently under $100 for the first time in several years. If you would like to join the party over on Patreon at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier, I'd love that. That'd be so nice. You can jump in on there if you want to do that. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider Patreon. I have a YouTube channel, and of course, subscribing to my YouTube channel is free. If you want to jump in on the old YouTube, you could do that at youtube.com/PatBear. Jump over to my YouTube channel. Subscribing is free. Being a member is just $2 a month. And at the $2 a month, the only membership tier over there, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So instead of waiting for yesterday to find out what was another anime from the spring season that I liked on Kuma Baer, you would have seen that video on Tuesday. So consider joining me over there. I also have a couple ways to just do direct donations if you don't want to become monthly, because those are monthly ways to support me. If you just want to give me like a tip jar, I have a Ko-Fi and directly to my PayPal. And everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And out of that fund, I buy model kits to build. I have a backlog of kits that I've been very happy to work on in the future. I actually ran a poll for my $10 patrons about what I should build next. And that has to wait because the next thing I'm going to be building is a Lego set that's right here that I could put right here. It's this Lego set. I can put it here. You can't see because of the. There it is. It's Lego Friends. The green screen or the background remover does not like this, so that can't work. But the background remover was just like really freaking out about that. But anyway, I got a Lego set that came off my Amazon wish list. So that's the next thing I'm going to be able to build is that. Because anything bought on my Amazon wish list jumps the queue and becomes the next thing I build. If you would also like to buy something for me to build, also shout out to Aristofan for buying that cool Lego set that I'll be working on. It's a hot dog truck. But yeah, you can buy something off my Amazon wish list. It'll come to me in the mail. I'll make a dedicated video about it for my YouTube channel, and it'll become the next thing that I build. I've got Lego sets and model kits, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits. Ooh, the Lego 3-in-1 flatbed truck with helicopter toy is down to $16 on sale from $20. That's nice. That's a nice little drop. But yeah, I got model kits and all kinds of things. I try to price everything in order here. I try to have inexpensive stuff mixed in with the expensive stuff. A wide variety. If you want to buy me an old high grade or a new Lego set, you got options. There's a bunch of stuff there. And again, if you buy it, I'll pick it up and make it a priority of something that I'm going to build. It'll be the next thing that I put together. Sorry. What price is that? That's a pretty good price. The upgrade of the Justice Gundam, the Immortal Justice Gundam. The Immortal Justice Gundam is right now at a price of $32, which is expensive for a high grade, but not, unfortunately, not that expensive. This because for whatever reason, the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom, the movie, or Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom, which is the movie, all of those kits are in the $30 range at the start. So unfortunately, that's a good price for a new high grade. That's unfortunate that the low 30s instead of mid 20s or low 20s. But that's just the reality we live in. But yeah, if you want to buy something there, there's some gear at the bottom if that's more your speed. I have a throne wish list. If you don't want to go through Amazon, I get it. See if there's something there you'd like to see me build, or you want to buy a gift card. I got a lot of gift cards on offer over there. And then USA Gundam Store. If you want to support me in the most convoluted way possible, then that's USA Gundam Store. You go there, you make an account, you get a account there, you buy a gift card, you get an email with that gift card code, then you send me a DM on Twitter or a whisper on Twitch or a message on I don't know, a message on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code, and then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. I should also say, the other day, I was just checking my messages on my DMs on Twitter, because I usually do that when I'm doing this to delete spam. And it turned out that I was offered a code for the game I'll be playing next Tuesday, Mech Builder. We played the demo on stream, and I was offered a code before I could even ask for one, because I was planning on asking for a code. I got offered a code for Mech Builder, and the game comes out next Tuesday, so we'll stream it on launch day, which is very neat. And again, I didn't ask for it. I was going to. I just received the code, so I'm pretty psyched to play that. But yeah, I wanted to confirm all of that before I talked about it on stream, and make sure the download worked and all that. But it did. If you want to support me and not spend any money, you can join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. My Discord is full of lovely folks. It's very chill. It's a chill channel. You can jump in there. Let's see. Other things. A couple of video links for you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I talked about all of the isekai that is out this season. There are many isekai out this season, and I covered all of them. And if I'm going to watch them, if I might watch them, or if I'm not watching them. Talked about all of them there. And then Kuma Baer. Kuma Baer is my weekly video series where I recommend anime in under a minute. This month, the theme is the best of my favorites of the spring 2024 season. So I talked about Kaiju number 8, which is a really fun show from that season. Hold on one quick second. I just wanted to see. I'm Pat Bear, and this is Kuma. Oh no, it's playing. It's playing. Sorry, I clicked the wrong link. I just wanted to see. Oh, that is doing terrible. Bummer. Okay. Hey, watch that. It's only been up for a day, and it's not doing well because generally my YouTube shorts do better if it's an English name in the title. But I thought maybe Kaiju number 8 would do okay. But it turns out Japanese words don't reach the same people, even if it is anime. Because it's reaching anime viewers. Because, like, my shorts in Kuma Baer, the Kuma Baer shorts reach, like, 500, 600 people every one of them. But then some of them reach, like, 200 people or, like, 20 people. And I don't know. But I thought maybe Kaiju number 8 would still hit. I'm not going to... What's this? I did not... shows that have like the word dead in the title, like undead, the unwanted undead adventurer. I'm not going to recommend the unwanted undead adventurer, even though I thought that anime was great. I'm not going to put dead in the title because that Instagram hates that, TikTok hates that, YouTube hates that. So I'm not going to do that, right? Undead girl murder farce. Didn't recommend that. and some of my favorite shows from last year, even though it was one of my favorite shows from last year. I didn't recommend it because Death and Dead just aren't going to go into a title, right? Manga Plus localized the title as Monster number 8, and it's just not as good. No, Monster number 8 is not a good title. Kaiju number 8 is a better title. So, like, but if it's a Japanese name of a show and I want to talk about it, I'm still going to make it, because it's not like that's the fact that no one, comparatively in a day, I didn't break 100 views on that, isn't going to like fuck up the next one for me. I have to swing far higher for that to be a problem. Now, if I'm getting 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 views on a short, a bad upload will fuck that up, to be fair. But at the 400 mark, 400 is a lot of people who are like looking at it for like 5 seconds and going, okay, and then moving on and not even getting to the full minute of the video. So 400 on a day, that's no big deal. I'm cool with that. But for other things, like I said, if I started scaling up and a lot of more people have been watching it, then I run into a problem if I'm putting that up. Then I'm not going to recommend Oshi no Ko, because Oshi no Ko isn't going to register, isn't going to get pushed by the algorithm as much as I Parry Everything. Because I Parry Everything is 3 English words, and Oshi no Ko is not. But again, I don't have to worry about that as much because it's not make or break for me. Anyway, we are going to talk about Oshi no Ko and I Parry Everything in just a bit. But first, I am going to drink some water. And we're going to dramatically transition to the overhead camera right now. Love doing that with that glass. Turn it sideways. Also, good to have. We are working on a leg. We are going to continue working on our leg. I would love to get body complete on the RX-72. We might finish, because once we finish that, then we can start building all of the weird contraptions that we can build for this. Like we can put the base of it in there. We can put the whole damn thing in there. We can combine it all with all of the parts of this. Why would we do that? I don't know. I'm not going to do all of the other. We took photos of the 2 weird. There's one we haven't built yet, which is this. We haven't built this yet, and we're going to build this because it's the dumbest thing. It's just the model kit inside of... It's just the full complete model kit in the second half of the base, and it doesn't make any sense, and so we are going to build that because it's very fucking funny. But we do need to build a whole kit, so we gotta work on the leg here. I think we're going to finish this up on Saturday. That's my opinion anyway. That's my bet. But we might get it body complete here, and then just... I don't know, we might not finish the waist. All right, so we need this piece, and this piece are for that part, and then these 2 are for that. Yes, we have the Xiong at home, Ghostfellow says. Very true. All right, let me get B. We're going to need some B parts here. We'll do all of this here and just try to get through everything as best we can. Do as much as we can. I'm not in a rush. I'm not stalling, but I'm also not like, oh, I need to finish this fucking kit. Like, I'll say, we're going to finish this thing and build a Lego set on Saturday, and that'll be fine. That'll be great to do both. Like, I'm totally down for that. If that's how things work out for Saturday stream, is finishing it up and starting a Lego set and maybe building it. Finishing it. So let's talk about Oshi no Ko Season 2. I still don't know if I think I'm going to... You know what? I don't want to say that. I want to be declarative. I am going to be covering Season 2 of Oshi no Ko on a weekly basis, because that is a show that it is in like the top 3 shows that I am most looking forward to on a weekly basis. It's still only second season, and I think there's enough intrigue with it that if like the diminishing returns of Pat's talking about a show that is in a season and I've never watched it, and like so much is happening on that. I still think there's enough happening in the show that it's interesting to talk about, and it also is one that I'm most looking forward to. And I like to do that sometimes on a show. Occasionally there are hate watches, but for the most part, I don't truck in hate watching. I just truck in stuff that I'm interested in. So, we have a flashback. This was when Tokyo Blade met for the first time, or the primary meeting, because they had met before, but this was like the meeting of everybody together. Aqua and Kana, they were at the building for the stage play. They talked to Melt, who was excited to work with them. So again, this is all flashback stuff. And Melt is just like, I kind of get a feeling that I'm more excited than you are about the three of us working together. But he's like, I've been practicing. That wasn't me at my best. We meet some of the other performers that are introducing themselves. Akane shows up and tells Aqua that he admires theater. Or she admires theater, and so if he wants, it's again, Akane stuff always makes me feel like a little bit like, a lot of this is weird because you need a lot more than he's ever going to give you, because he's an old man in the body of a child that is certainly focused on helping out his sister, but his, of course, primary thing is, the thing we have to remember about our boy, his primary goal is to figure out who his dad is, because he is convinced that his father is the person that set up his mother's death, and the previous attack that, and also I should say, the attack that led to his own demise, and the later attack that led to his mother's demise. So his reincarnated. It's complicated. A reminder that this is a show that is almost exclusively about young people trying to make it in the entertainment industry, and also about twins who had another life before this and have been reincarnated as the children of the woman, the idol that they both admired for different reasons. And one of them is trying to solve her murder and his own murder, and the other one is just living her best life, or trying to live her best life. So there's a lot going on, but it's mostly about the idol stuff and the entertainment stuff. Again, a lot going on Oshinoko. I said this a million times. The pilot, the 90-minute pilot, is one of the wildest fucking rides of 2023 as far as anime goes. And even if you are not gonna enjoy get into the series, I think it's worth your time to go and watch that pilot. Anyway, Melt and Kana talk about Melt's poor performance. Melt says like, hey, eventually, even without people's help, I would have figured out I'm not a good actor. Like, I would have improved without people intervening, which I don't know. I don't necessarily think is true. But he's like, no, in Tokyo Blade, this is my time to shine, basically. We look at Abiko and Yoriko at a bar. Abiko is a popular manga artist and author. And it's them talking about like adapting things to anime and TV dramas. And Abiko wants Yoriko to attend the stage play rehearsal. And Yoriko says that she'll go. At this point, again, all flashback. This could have been episode 1, and I think they just wanted to start. It's a weird thing where it feels like they wanted to start with episode 2, like episode 1, like with less like people meeting each other and more action, but then they still did what episode 1 could have been just now, and so it feels weird. But anyway, this whole episode felt weird and out of place. They're talking about their own thing. They're reflecting some inner monologue stuff, and worried about compromise. And then we go back to the present. because we ended the last episode with Abiko being like, we got to fix this script. This adaptation just doesn't work. And kind of like, you've got to fix this thing. And then we did have the flashback to help explain how we got there. Basically, and I think this point is awesome. He was like, you kept changing the script and you kept telling me once I saw the actors performing it, I would understand that the script was great and all of my fears would go away. And now I have seen it and I do not think that's true. And I think the person on your staff was wrong. And I was like, I think that's fair. If you've been promised, like, once you see it, it'll all make sense. And then it doesn't. You're right to be like, hey, what the fuck? There's apologies and people talking to each other. It is very clear that that somebody was told, like, there is a point of miscommunication where the writer was giving feedback all along and it wasn't reaching the director, and the director clearly has not read the source material, which is, again, Tokyo Blade. That Tokyo Blade, like, it's very clear this director just has not read anything and does not care. They get separated before things turn argumentative even more. We get some more Yoriko internal stuff of, like, the problems. Again, this is important to remember that the person that wrote all of this is a mangaka. Like, if you pull back from it, right? This is a mangaka talking about how sometimes other mangaka have issues with adaptations of their material that, through the lens of right now, realize that that's this author dealing with that in the anime adaptation of the manga. It's fucking weird. I couldn't help but get pulled out of it, even though I am enjoying this story. I couldn't help but get pulled out as I realized, oh yeah, this guy wrote all this stuff and then it's still fucking happening. So yeah, there are a lot of drawbacks and a lot of issues there. Abiko's editor is concerned because they're like they'd have to pay for these changes, and that's gonna, ruin the budget. And basically the director Gao is just like, you expect way too much from me, which is really weird. And Abiko wants Gao off the project. And also, Gao is like, if we make these changes, I don't want to be in the credits. Because he doesn't want to take credit for the revisions that the mangaka is making. Which is, like, I think kind of fair, but also just, come on, it's a collaborative process. Like, what are we doing here? And it also doesn't seem like that would be possible. So it may just be like he knows that that's not going to happen, so he's making a demand he knows that can't happen. He's politicking. And Raida is in the middle, just being like, I think this script is fine. I don't know why you think it's so, or like, I don't agree with you that you think it's so bad. And they apparently do compromise some. Although Gao thinks that it's good. And they find out, okay, the rehearsals are going to be on hold until the script revisions are done. And Aqua wants to know, he overhears the conversation and wants to know what a stage around play is. And they're surprised. And Aqua kind of ends with they're going to go to a stage around play. It's very clear that Aqua's opinions on theater are surprising to his fellow actors, but we know this is not the life he wants. This is part of his grander plan to just get close to people that might be able to give him information about who was having an affair with his mom that led to his and his sister's birth. So again, nothing about the investigation or the murder mystery, all to do with the drama stuff. And again, I should also say, this has nothing to do with any of the main characters. This whole episode, and now I understand why this wasn't episode 1 of season 2, this whole episode is just about how difficult it is to adapt a manga to a stage play. And while I do think that's interesting, it doesn't really, maybe it will. Maybe this whole thing will mean way more later. But right now, I'm just looking at it and going, yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. I kind of miss the parts of the anime I like, but all right. And I did see in a Discord that I belong to where people were discussing this, some people saying that like this is a similar plot point to season 3 of Sound Euphorium, which is a show that I do not watch, but apparently a big plot point of that season was adapting things and the trouble in adapting. Also, in that discussion, talked about how the changes made in Sound Euphorium, apparently the author of that didn't mind those changes that were made to the anime adaptation of the manga. So I always thought that was kind of funny how like they're going through this whole thing and it's like, yeah, but the person that made it doesn't care. What happened here? Jam just subscribed with Prime. That's 77 months. Thank you so much, Jam. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in chat. Thank Jam for their continued support. Appreciate that, Jam. I'm gonna throw some emotes in the chat. So yeah, so not my favorite episode of Oshi no Ko, but it's still like within the realm of, I think, what's doing well for it. Again, we're like looking at a director who I don't particularly, the director I don't really care about, the author I don't really care about her. Like it's kind of interesting, but it's not hitting me. Yeah, it's kind of a strange thing. And again, on a meta level, I find it interesting on a meta level that this mangaka was writing this piece about how mangaka sometimes don't understand adaptations and sometimes they don't work out well and they're not perfect. And that mangaka is talking, and then that whole thing got adapted by an anime studio for the anime version of the manga. It's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So I'm going to talk about I Parry Everything. I'm going to give you like, because I don't know if I'm going to be covering this on a weekly basis. I don't think I am. I don't think I'm going to be covering I Parry Everything because I don't think I'm going to watch every episode as it airs. But I do like it. So I am just going to give you like a brief recap. And I think that's kind of where we're going to be going now. I started doing this in the spring season. And I like it where I, like per stream, I kind of like focus on one anime and then I talk about either I talk about some other stuff or I talk about a manga that I am reading. But I don't like go full detail all the way about like several shows because I'm not watching several shows moment to moment these days. Instead of covering 2 or 3 anime per stream, I'm going to kind of focus on one and then either, like I said, recaps, a bit, give an introduction in the beginning of the season, and then for the rest, just kind of talk about manga or manhwa, stuff that I'm reading and enjoying. I think that'll work out pretty okay. I think that's kind of where we're going to go with this. These don't really clip in because they have to move around a little bit. They just kind of like, they kind of just rest and then you snap them together, which is not the best, I'll say. And then we'll panel line the leg here, or the feet, because we didn't do that. Yeah, these kind of just rest there. All right, so I parry everything. This is not an isekai, but this is an overpowered main character who didn't realize he was overpowered. This is not the old man newbie adventurer, which is the fact that I parry everything and that show came out at the same time is kind of funny because they are similar. But this one is, yeah, this is a bit different. I've enjoyed this manga quite a bit. This is also very similar to last season's show about the guy with 999 defense. This is similar. 2 seasons ago, this is similar to that as well. So we start with the flashback. Nor decides to become an adventurer when he is now an orphan because his mother dies. He goes to the royal capital and the guildmaster tells him he's got to go to training school, and he keeps failing it. He keeps failing training school. He can't learn any skills. The only skill he learns is parry. He can parry with a sword, which is like everybody fucking learns that and moves on and specializes and does all that. So you can't be an adventurer unless you have a base level of skills, and our guy can't fucking get that base level down, except for parry. And he's good at that, but that's not enough. So he can't get into the guild. He cannot be accepted into the guild. And so he goes back to his home, and he's like, well, you know what? Hard work will pay off. I'm going to master parry. And then once I master parrying, it will open up a world of possibilities and I'll be able to do more stuff. And so he buckles down to focus on parrying, and he buckles down for how many years that I wrote down? 10 years. And for 10 years, all he does is train. He must do other things in order to have, like, feed himself and do that. But really, they say, okay, this dude just focuses on training for 10 fucking years. I need D. Here is D. Okay. Couldn't find that piece that I needed. I found it. But yeah, he basically focuses on training for 10 years. And now he's a young adult, and he can parry 1,000 swords a second. He has mastered parrying. He can, as the title suggests, parry everything. So he goes back to the guild, and the guildmaster is like, what? Okay, you're an F rank, I guess. Jesus, what? All right. Like, he doesn't really know how to respond to what's happened here. So he makes him an F rank. But he can't go on real quests, but he can do manual labor around the city. So he's like, okay. And one day he's doing work near a cave. He's not a full-ranked adventurer, but, you know, he's still around and he's still living kind of the dream. And he hears cries, and he finds inside this cave Lady Lynn and her guards, and they're being attacked by a goddamn minotaur. A fucking minotaur is attacking them. And so our boy goes into action, and he just starts parrying them. Because a lot of the guards are dead, and he could just parry and parry and parry. And eventually, his sword breaks, and all he can do is one last ditch parry, which is to parry the weapon, which is the Minotaur's axe, which kills the fucking Minotaur. And this scene whips ass. Because he disarms it and beheads it in a very cool move. The animation here is pretty good. This is not a bargain bin show. The animation is pretty solid. And this scene looks great. Lin tries to thank him for saving her, but he is in. The thing that's very funny about the end of this episode is he's embarrassed, not because he shouldn't have done it. He's embarrassed because he did a bad job. He had trouble parrying because his sword broke. So he's embarrassed. Again, this is a overpowered main character that doesn't realize he's overpowered. He does not think he is particularly special because the guildmaster told him, and he just accepts that. But clearly, he can fight a fucking Minotaur and kill a Minotaur with just parry, but he is not confident in his own abilities yet, which is I think pretty fucking funny, pretty cool. So the second episode, again, I'm just gonna go through some of these episodes that I thought were interesting, or I don't know if I'm going to be covering episodes 3 and 4, but I'll give you an overview of episode 2. Lin's brother is Lord Rain, and it turns out, this is fucked, that Minotaur wasn't supposed to be there. Apparently, it was sent there to kill Lin to start a war. They wanted to provoke a neighboring kingdom, the Magic Empire of Derdis. They wanted to provoke this kingdom to start a war with them so that they could invade. They were looking for an excuse, and they were trying to mess up. Nor starts hearing rumors about a mysterious knight, someone that killed a Minotaur, and he, for reasons that don't quite make sense, doesn't put 2 to 2 together that, hey, dude, they're talking about you and how you kick ass. He does not figure that part out. But he does hear people talking about a cool adventurer. Because he because he doesn't know that was a Minotaur. He thought that was a cow monster, that a non-Minotaur cow monster, which I guess exists, but doesn't seem like that would. Again, they have to go a little hard to make it make sense that this guy is that clueless about things. They have to kind of play it up. DJ Loneliness just followed. Great name. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I stream on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Monday, Thursday, Saturday is model kit building. Tuesday is game night, where I play video games or do some other stuff, but mostly video games. All right, that's the back piece. This is the front piece here. Then we're going to need A to get some of this together. Okay, so Lin finally finds Nor and is like, hey, I need to give you a reward because you saved my life. And he's like, that doesn't seem right. I can't accept that. It's a misunderstanding. It's not clever. It is a misunderstanding. It's just what you have to do in this episode. He does agree to meet Lin's father. And then he realizes, oh shit. Lin is important because she's a lady. And then he meets the king. And then it's revealed that he didn't realize that was the king even after meeting him, which again does not make any sense. But yeah, he met the king, doesn't recognize it. The king will not, because he saved the princess of the kingdom. The king will not let him leave without a reward. And so he's like, okay, look, you need a new sword. I've got this sword from when I was an adventurer. Take my dang sword. It'd be nice for it to be out there and doing stuff. And so he agrees. It's a giant fucking huge two-handed sword that's jet black and looks wicked. It's very cool. It's a very cool sword. And so Norn's like, this sword is impractical, but it would be great for digging ditches because it's just wide enough. Because remember, Nor is an adventurer who can't go on adventures, so he does chores, and one of his chores is ditch digging, and he thinks that this big sword will be great for that because of its width, that it will be great as a shovel, as a giant shovel. Lynn's bodyguard is like, hey, you are way too fucking casual meeting the king. You gotta shape up. And Nor still doesn't quite understand. He's like, oh yeah. If I ever meet the king, I'll of course. He still hasn't put two and two together that he did just meet the king, and the king just gave him a sword that was the king's sword. Excuse me. And then he meets a spearman, Gilbert, who is also another bodyguard and is sizing him up because he has heard that this guy killed the Minotaur, and so he wants a piece of him. He's interested in his abilities. We're going to see spoiler for episode 3, which has not aired yet. Episode 3, the episode where Nor busts up this fucking dude and embarrasses his ass. There will be at least a few minutes of this guy talking shit to Nor, and then Nor easily parrying everything this guy has to offer with his spear, because that's the whole fucking point of the series. This is the show about a guy who parries everything. And a bunch of people fucking hate that. They hate that this guy can parry all his shit. Is this the best show of the season? Fuck no. Is it a good show? I think so. I think it is a fun show. I think I Parry Everything is worth a look. It is not going to be on the top of people's lists. I don't know if I'm going to watch every episode. I enjoy the manga. I am looking forward to introducing other characters. I will say that the difference between this and the Osan Newbie Adventurer, which is also about a guy who just worked really hard and one day finally started to see results for working very hard. The difference between those two shows is that, one, this guy's main name is Nor, and the main character of the other show is named Rick Gladiator. So one show has a better fucking name for their main character. That's a big thing. The other thing is, Rick is not an idiot. Rick might have a low opinion of himself and might not believe in himself, especially in the beginning, but he's not a fucking dumbass. And Nor is just a strong, good, he's a himbo. Nor is just a goddamn himbo. And your tolerance for that, I think, is the most important thing. Like, if you are just like, I cannot deal it. When will this dude figure out that he is strong and cool, and that the princess likes him? Like, when is he going to pick this shit up? It's going to take a while. I don't think it'll be season 1 before this dude recognizes that he is has the potential to be smart. I'm going to wrap it up there. I do need to panel line this kit. I need to do the connecting pieces to it to put all this stuff together. We did build the legs of it at least, but we're not ready to put all this together yet. And I also need to put this in here at one point and do a bunch of silly photos. Not this one, but there's some other ones I need to do. Because we do need to have this design. Eventually we need to do this. So we are going to wrap this kit up on, we'll wrap this kit up on Saturday and put it all together. Because we are getting a bunch of this done. It's just not done. But yeah, we'll get a lot of this together and then assemble all of it. Put this all together in a way that makes sense for everybody and everybody will be happy. And then Oh yeah, I can put this piece on. I can put this piece on because it'll make this look better if this goes on. Yeah. But yeah, we're almost ready to body complete this kit. We will body complete this kit on Saturday stream, and then I will start building a Lego set, and I'll actually properly show you what the Lego set is for the end of the stream here. It is the Lego Friends Hot Dog Food Cart. This is what we're going to be working on Saturday. We're going to start this kit right here. You can see right there. It is a food cart. We got Leo and Kea. They're friends. They're part of the 8 friends from Lego Friends. It used to be 5 friends. Now it's 8 friends. This is like a introduction to Lego for targeted at young ladies. But it's also a hot dog. It's also a cart shaped like a hot dog. And I like that. It joins the burger trucks that we have built in the past. I am going to try not to talk out loud too much tomorrow because I don't really have anything to do tomorrow for that because my voice is not great. Lego's One Piece, indeed. But yeah, there'll be more stream on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone doing cool shit and go spend some time with them because we always end with a raid. And who will we raid tonight? Who is going to get the raid from us? Who's doing stuff that we want to go hang out with? How long has this been going on? Oh yeah, he's going 2 hours. I don't know how much longer he's going to go. We have not raided my friend Mitch P2. We're going to go raid P2. P2 is playing a game called Angerfoot. And apparently Angerfoot, there is a seizure warning. So if you are prone to seizures, something in this video game might trigger that. So please keep that in mind. I don't know anything about Angerfoot except that you can just hear in my headphones Mitch laughing a lot. So we're going to go raid P2. Please come along on this raid. Reminder, my next stream is Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, where I'm going to finish this kit and wrap this damn thing up, and then we'll move on and work on a Lego set. Thanks all so much for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Talk to you all soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.